Hello, we are live here with yours truly, Speak Viking, Óskar here, and over to the side here is my good friend Étienne.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Étienne.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm very good. You?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, so we started talking about doing this 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now here we are.
Finally made it.
Yeah. So the idea is basically, I'm over here in Iceland. You're over there in French Canada.
Quebec.
Am I correct? Quebec. And we're gonna sort of talk about Icelandic idioms, French Canadian idioms, and just kind of see if there are some similarities, and just kind of talk about them because I think they're really funny when you take them, you translate them over into English directly,
Mhm.
and yeah, it can be quite humorous.
Right. Am I? Is it a false memory, or did that idea start when we were talking about having a sore throat, and then how would we say it in our own language?
I
I feel
mean,
like I remember something like that.
I can barely remember what I did yesterday, so that's quite possible. Yeah, 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 yeah. It could be. Yeah.
So we could start with that one if you want.
Yes, please. Yeah, let's go for it.
Sure. Well, so for people watching that not familiar with French Canadians, because not everyone knows, we're a quite small group of people. We're in Canada, but we're an old French colony originally. So our French is different from French from France. So the accent is different, and the lingo, the words, the expressions, everything's different. The way to write it is the same, but speaking is different. So, sore throat in Quebec, j'ai un chat dans la gorge, or j'ai un chat dans la gorge. We like to remove extra words that we might not need. That means I have a cat in the throat. And then I have
Right,
a sore throat.
right. You guys maybe for obvious reasons forego the frog in the throat because that would open
Maybe.
you up
Yes.
to all those jokes.
We had enough
Um,
of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it would be interesting for people maybe who don't know or haven't heard difference between French Canadian and just French to listen to. And you pointed this out to me. The Simpsons. Watch The Simpsons with French Canadian dialogue dubbing, and or then French because I tried it and it was completely different.
Yeah. The theory is that in Europe, in France, the French evolved because they were copying the high court and the noble French. So it became more like this. They make fun of us every time we open our mouth, so we can make fun of them too, I think, here in Quebec. But apparently, we were detached and we kept the like old French with the old accents. Because sometimes when I met French people traveling, I'd say words and they're like, "Whoa, my grandma says that." So that's a
Ah,
bit of a rougher tongue, I guess.
right. Maybe more sort of like you have the farmer and then you have the more sophisticated.
Yeah. Well, there's that tone, right, with French from Europe about sophistication, and when you want to sound fancy, like I just did in English, you use French words. Everything that's like three or more syllables
Mm,
sounds better, right?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
Makes
nice
sense.
video on that on YouTube. Maybe I can put it in the chat after the stream about the origin. Like I don't want to divert, but yeah, about the English language and how it evolved and borrows from everyone and from French.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting, I think. Yeah, for sure. So I think this is kind of reminding me the thing about the cat in the throat. I think we were having a discussion because I talked about this thing about there's this expression of saying like something is so small that it doesn't even fit up the nostril of a cat, and I did a video about that. Yeah, yeah. So we say like this is not even up the nostril of a cat. Þetta ekki upp í nösina á ketti.
Can you repeat, teacher, so I can try it?
Yes, yes, I can do that, teacher. I can repeat for you, teacher. Þetta ekki einu sinni upp í nösina á ketti.
So I'll have to do. I can do 3 syllables max, or
Yeah.
can you separate by word? And I'll try.
Let's do it. Let's do it word by word, and let's go back, and I'll do
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
And people at home, try it with us.
Já, gjörðu þið svo vel. Hermið eftir okkur. Repeat after us. Okay. Þetta.
Is it a S or a T? Tahda.
It's like Thor. Þetta.
Tahda.
Er.
Ish.
Er.
Er.
Ekki.
Again?
Ekki. 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 Einu sinni.
Einu sinni.
Upp í.
Upp í.
Nösina.
Nösra.
Nösina.
Nösina. Nösna.
Á.
Á.
Ketti.
Ketti.
Very good, teacher. Very good, Ethan.
Do you have tones like in Vietnamese and some Chinese languages? Like up and
Ooh.
down?
I mean, we have different characters. So we have characters. Hello, Newman. We have different characters that. So we have the regular a, and then we have an a with like the accent marker on top, and then that's ow,
Ow.
ow.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a lot of new sounds I've never had to make before.
Yeah, it's challenging, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
now that I've tortured you, let's jump back and you can torture me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, teacher, how do I say I have a cat in my throat in French Canadian?
Oh, okay. Sure. So the proper written form would be j'ai un chat dans la gorge. But even then, that's more rough or different than French from France. And again, France has 100 accents too. So when I say that, I guess I'm thinking about the Parisian accent, like the cliche accent.
Ho ho ho.
That I hate that so much. that's that and the frog and en français, right? In The Simpsons, they made that joke, right? En français. But in Quebec, we would switch. J'ai un chat dans la gorge, and I have the Montreal accent. So apparently, I have the most neutral Quebec accent. If I go to outside of Montreal, people know already right away. Like in the countryside, they're like, you're a little city boy." So because we can go rougher with like j'ai un chat, j'ai un chat. That's I can't even do it, but they use like the whole mouth. All right, sorry, I had a lot of coffee to wake up from my nap. Word by word.
Yo. Yes, please.
J'ai
J'ai
un
un
chat,
chat
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 dans
da
Dans, not da, dans.
Dans.
Yeah. Gorge.
Gosh.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, j'ai un chat dans la gorge.
J'ai au chat à gauche.
Dans la gorge.
Da gorge.
Wow, very nice. You sound very drunk, Quebec, but that's most people at any time of the day here, so it's okay.
Right, yeah. There we go. Yeah, perfect. So I think maybe before we jump into the next thing, I should just mention that, we met, gosh, I think it's been 8 years ago in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Saigon, and we were teaching at a language school, and we were probably maybe a little bit, you know, maybe didn't
Wet
fit the
behind the
mold.
ears?
Well, I think you considerably less than me, but I think we didn't really fit into the mold of like, here's an American teaching you English, or here's a British person teaching you English. It was like,
Mm,
well, these guys are teaching English, but they're from kind of weird places and they have weird accents. And
not native speakers, as they say.
right, yeah, yeah,
You remember
yeah.
those expressions? All these terms we had to learn. Because in Canada, native is an like outdated term for the
Mm.
First Nations. So every
Oh,
time I hear
right.
native speaker, I would cringe a bit.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, native speaker.
But
It's
that's how they called it. Yeah.
that's yeah. And I kept telling people that I was from Iceland, and they would say, "Oh yeah, Ireland, Ireland." No, no, sorry, it's not that one. It's close, but it's not that one. But
Yeah.
what I would say it again, and people would go, "Yeah, Ireland, Ireland, Ireland. I know Ireland." Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So that was a funny place to meet. Both out of our elements, and my Anglophone friends here always made fun of me because I used to have such a thick accent and then ended up teaching English in Vietnam.
yeah, it's pretty funny that you sound like GSP and you're teaching English. Sounds
Well,
like that.
I don't think I talk exactly like
No,
GSP,
yeah.
but
Yeah. That's
he
more
has
GSP,
the
yeah.
he has a great accent that we love every
I
time he
love
speaks.
yeah,
We're very proud of him.
love him. Yeah. You might be a little bit more maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme than GSP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Sexy. Sexy. At least in the 80s. In the 80s, very sexy.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not comparing you to present day JCVT.
I'd
And
still take it.
yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. Okay, so speaking of this, I think this might be a good one. So there's an expression that we use in Icelandic for when you want to get even with somebody, when you want to like,
Ooh.
yeah, you're gonna settle the score with somebody. And so the fighting words that you would say to somebody when you want to settle the score with them, you would say, "I will find you at the beach."
Okay.
Ég mun finna þig í fjöru.
One more time.
Ég mun finna þig í fjöru. And don't worry about it. We'll go word by word.
Oh, that's okay. I've just wanted yeah, it's like ear candy.
Mm.
But so find you or see you or meet you, specifically find you.
Yeah, find you. Yeah, find you at the beach.
And the beach is the F word at the end. Fjord.
Yeah, that's right. Fjöru. Fjöru.
Because we have some words for rivers in Quebec that we use FJORD. I don't know how to pronounce it. And fjord, which is like a big river. Maybe there's some old connection there. I don't know.
Well, then I guess you have, fjord or fjörður.
There you
Fjord.
go. Okay.
Yeah. Fjara. Fjara. Fjara.
I'm
Yeah.
looking through my list for the equivalent, but I don't think we have something to get even. Not at the top of my head. That's a funny English idiom off the top of my head. Like our nice hat. Newman in the commented on our
Yeah, thank you,
in the
Newman.
chat.
Thank you. We're coordinated here.
There you
Just
go.
just a couple of cuties.
I'm just looking real quick. I'm just thinking we don't really like to get even. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back later, but that's an interesting one. I'll find you at the beach.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like an old thing where like you're coming off the Viking boats and you're with your axe?
Could be, yeah, it could be. Like you're either like leaving on the boat at the beach or you're coming home, from a
Yeah, there you go.
skirmish or a raid
There
on the
you go.
beach. Yeah, so the beach is a way of, meeting other Vikings. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. That's either cute or yeah, it's kind of violent. Like you replace the bicycle rack as the English idiom. I'll see. I think that's what we used to say when we were kids. Je te vois dans la cour, je vais te voir en arrière de l'école. Something. I'll see you at the back of the school, like
Hmm.
after school, after recess. But you said that when you're a kid, not when you're an adult.
Yeah. Well, you can say I'll find you at the beach as an adult, but it doesn't sound particularly menacing or adult.
Yeah. Nice. I like that. To go back to the idiom that you first introduced with the one going up the nostril of a cat,
Yeah.
something so small, is it like a detail that doesn't bother you, or is it for an actual physical thing that you're carrying? Or
It's usually kind of comes up in conversation around food. Like there's not enough food. Like the food,
Ah,
like maybe you have like leftovers, and it's so tiny and insignificant that it's not even up the nostril of a cat.
okay. That's even. I love idioms. They're so weird. Idioms. Did I say aliens? Idioms. They're weird. Aliens are also weird.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, I'm lagging. I want to apologize to the viewers real quick. I'm a bit sleep deprived these days. So
Yes, Ethan. Please, would you please apologize to the viewers? They came here for professional, uh,
super professional idiom.
professional, idiom treatise, and you're just effing it up. Okay, so let me see. I have another good one. So we say this when we're ready to like get the show going, like get things moving along. Like maybe right now, we just want to get things going. We would say, "Onwards with the butter."
Native tongue again.
Áfram með smjörið.
Alfren mir Schröfne. I forgot the last one.
Okay, yeah, you did pretty good, pretty good. So áfram
Alfram
með
Meth
smjörið.
Smjörið.
That was really good.
Thank you. That's butter. Smjörið.
Yeah, the butter, smjörið.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the grammar the same in Icelandic and English or similar, like structure?
I want to say the word structure is. It's usually like subject, verb, object.
Okay. And do you have genders for objects like in French? You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
3 genders.
The neutral like for like German?
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously masculine, feminine, and then neuter.
It.
It. It.
That's my pronoun when people ask me my pronouns. That happen 2 or 3 times so far. I go it and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, just call me it.
Like the friendly, lovely clown. It.
There you go. Newman is asking, do we have a linguistic background? For me, the TESOL, teaching English as a second official language, is just a certificate I did in Vietnam. I also have college linguistics and literature, but mostly I'm just a nerd and I have an interest for finding connections and words and stuff like that.
For me, it's always been more of just like figuring stuff out on the fly. No linguistic background on paper.
They hired you without a TESOL.
They did,
Dun,
yeah.
dun,
I
dun.
got a job with no paperwork at the English school.
Yeah, that's very hard to do now in Vietnam. They cleaned up, they're trying to clean up the industry since COVID, which is a good thing because there's a lot of stuff. Well, I think if you're passionate or serious about it, even if you don't have a background, you can help. We were teaching adults, right? Evening classes.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people that shouldn't have been in the classroom at all.
Right.
So
Yeah.
your idiom was when it's time to go somewhere.
It's more about like let's get the show on the road kind of thing.
Let's get started.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Let's keep it moving.
there's one in Quebec that is very popular now for when people are kind of dragging their feet, if you want. Arrête de niaiser.
Arrête de neiger.
Arrête de niaiser.
Arrête de niaiser.
Hey, very good. Very nice. That means stop messing around.
Yeah.
That's very Quebec, not France. Very Quebec.
Okay. Arrête
Yeah.
de neiger.
Arrête de niaiser là.
Arrête de neiger. Ah.
Yeah, niaiser. If you do more like je, it's snow, neiger, snowing.
Neiger?
Yeah, neiger. So niaiser with a Z is niaiser is like messing around or messing with someone or making fun of someone, depending on the idiom.
Niaiser.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Very
Tack för,
nice.
tack för det. A high five.
My wife.
My wife.
I just watched the sequel last week.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Not as good as the first one, I thought, but yeah, the sequel was good.
Hard to top.
Hard to top. Yeah.
Imagine having to pretend like his English syntax is he's so good. Like he has to pretend he has an accent and messes with the grammar to be funny. That's so good.
Smart guy. Smart guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a lot of we could say that's crazy in French. We could say in Quebec c'est malade. We use a lot of direct translations of English idioms in French in Quebec because we're like the little Asterix and Obelix village of French in the middle of a English continent. So c'est malade, that's sick.
Zemalat.
C'est malade.
Zemalat.
Say like see, say. Like
Zay?
English say. Say.
Ah, say.
C'est malade.
Say malad.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Okay, so whose turn is it now to do an idiom?
I think it's yours, sir.
Okay. Let's see. This is a good one. It lies in the eyes upstairs.
That sounds like someone's watching you.
What it means is it's obvious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And this sort of direct translation kind of misses the point that, well, it's kind of hard, some of these things when you get into, I mean, you probably come across this when you try to explain something in one language to somebody else who's familiar with things being a certain way in their language, you kind of come up against this sort of wall sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it exactly. Það liggur í augum uppi. It lies in the eyes upstairs. It's obvious.
It's like everyone knows it.
It's
Everyone
sorta
would
like,
know that thing.
it's kind of like plain to see. Plain to
Okay.
see.
Okay.
I mean, if you had to
So
really
obvious.
yeah. But what does that mean? Plain to see. It's plain to see.
Like nothing hidden.
Right.
Okay.
Plain.
Plain to see. Can you say it again?
Það liggur í augum uppi.
Okay, let's try 2 syllables at once. If that doesn't cut the word in half, I'll try to repeat it again.
Okay, let's see. Það.
Tath.
So that's like taught. But you want to say like Thor again? Thoth.
Both times. Okay. Thoth. That's my weakness for even in English. That sound thoth. Okay.
We did it. You just did it perfectly, so that's good. And then we have liggur.
Thoth. Licorice. Thoth.
So
Licorice.
so that's a little bit like licorice, but you want to roll the R at the end. So liggur.
Licorice. I don't hear a R, so but the tongue must be in the back and like curled up, or
Let me see.
Er.
Lick.
Okay, I heard it. I think it's because I'm on my phone. Wow, that's so cool. That's the sound we used to make when we were play fighting as a kid, and we do like a combo. Like 4 hits. Yeah, like Street Fighter. There you go.
Liquor.
Cool.
That's a good teaching hack. I'll have to do that one sometime. Just punch yourself. No, really, no, go for it. Just punch yourself and then say it at the same time, but punch yourself.
But not in the mouth, because then you will have to take a break.
Good. Okay, that was really good, Ethan. Good job.
You, sir. You call me by my old English name, a teacher name.
I'm not sure what to call you. Am I supposed to call you Ethan or Étienne?
I prefer Étienne, yeah.
Étienne.
But not eh. That's another sound in French. Étienne.
Étienne.
Perfect. Wow, that's
Étienne.
usually it takes me like a minute to make someone hear it, but you got it right away. Nice. Bravo.
Étienne.
Bravo.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of just saying like the Icelandic E. So no sort of inflection, saying it kind of like Icelandic. Étienne.
Okay. Well, because is we have e for an for French ease. So it's not it's Étienne.
Étienne.
Very nice.
Okay. Flott.
So something obvious. A lot of people are asking in the chat about it. That's one that people are interested in, it seems.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Uppi. Usually you talk about uppi as like upstairs. But it's more like uppi, like, yeah, I don't know. I think, maybe like God's eyes, what Newman is saying. I mean, it could be.
The Watcher.
Yeah.
For the Marvel fans out there.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so Étienne, do you have something that you can do now?
Oh yeah.
An idiom?
Yeah, one of my favorite ones that we don't use so much anymore. I don't have friends like I'm 40, so if people in the chat are wondering, and I don't have friends like 20 years younger, so I don't know if they still use those expressions. But I know that my friends and I are really trying hard to keep the older stuff. But there's this one, tire-toi une bûche. Tire-toi une bûche.
Serre-toi une bûche.
Yeah. So the T in Quebec, we put a S behind, but it's T-I-R-E, tire. But we spell it like, we pronounce it like a T-S. Tire-toi une bûche. It means literally pull yourself a log, like a tree log to sit on when you invite someone to sit with you. And it's so beautiful because that's our like origin of being all like loggers arriving on in New France and like going to cut wood to bring back to the old world. So Tsetouan Bush, you're inviting someone to have a drink with you, or you're inviting someone at your table, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Serre-toi une bûche.
Tsetouan
Serre-toi.
une bûche. I think I can write it in the chat.
Serre-toi une bûche. Serre-toi
Une
une bûche. Une bûche.
Une bûche.
Une bûche. Une bûche.
Very nice.
Serre-toi une bûche.
Yeah, because bush is mouth, so not bush. I don't know if
Bush.
we can hear with my phone's microphone, but there's a small difference.
Okay. Bush. Bush.
Bush and
Bush. Bush.
Bush. Yeah, there you go.
Bush.
Perfect.
Bush.
Đúng rồi,
Bush.
đúng rồi.
Bush. I can do this all day. Bush. 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 Bush.
Bush. There you go.
Well, we have something, it's not quite the same, and it's not necessarily like an idiom, but we say sometimes, fáðu þér sæti og sýndu þér kæti.
Okay.
Fáðu þér sæti og sýndu þér kæti. So, fáðu þér sæti, have a seat, og sýndu á þér kæti, and express some cheerfulness.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Like sit down and be merry, kind of.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. Like cheer up, sit down and cheer up.
Yeah, but it's
almost.
It's kind of we have like fáðu þér sæti, and then sýndu þér kæti, it rhymes. So I think that's kind of
okay,
like
yeah. It does have a kind of cadence to it. Nice.
Yeah, fáðu þér sæti og sýndu þér kæti.
Nice. Can you put it in the chat? Do you have access to the chat, or are you on your phone too?
I'm on my phone, but oh yeah, because the thing is live. No, let me see. I can, if you can sort of vamp for a moment, I can jump over into the other one.
Sure.
And maybe just say something smart, Étienne.
Oh my God.
I mean, try saying something smart.
Well, that spotlight. Well, like Óskar said, and I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly in your own language. We met in lovely Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, almost 10 years ago now, if you think about it, maybe 7 years ago. And he immediately identified me as an old punk rocker. Yeah, that's my voice that I hate hearing.
It's a beautiful voice. Don't be silly.
Well, that's one thing that my Vietnamese students enjoyed, is that I spoke maybe a bit more slowly than the first language American or British speaker, so they could hear my voice a bit more clearly. So they would often practice, well, probably because we charge less than non-native speakers, but they'd a lot of times learn first from a Vietnamese or a Filipino. A lot of Filipina, Pinoy English teachers in Vietnam, and then would move on to native speaker when they were ready to take the plunge or try to get rid of their Vietnamese accent. So I'm trying to sound smart, so I'm talking about language, because that's your what your channel is about. Ultimately is learning a language, but immersion is so important. And there's not a lot of, well, now with the internet it's so much easier than before. Like I learned English through The Simpsons, like you mentioned before. When I came home from school when I was a kid, there was one channel that would play it in English, and the sister channel would play it in French right after the same episode. So I kind of knew the
Uh-huh.
plot, or maybe the
Right.
opposite, French and then English. So I learned a lot from that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
In
Did you?
Iceland, it would play in English, but it would have subtitles
Okay.
because
Interesting.
we don't really dub anything that's not like specifically children's entertainment.
Okay.
So yeah, The Simpsons, that was a big first one for me for learning English, just watching The Simpsons, and I wasn't really aware that I was learning a new language. I was just watching the show
There
that
you
I
go.
loved. Yeah.
And with the subtitles. So yeah, the first trick is be immersed. The second trick to learning a language is be a kid.
Exactly, yeah. Well,
That's
just
the
like be open to the process of being like a total beginner.
that. But even just kids have an unfair advantage because their brain is just a sponge. If you have a kid, if you're watching and you have a kid and you want them to be bi or trilingual or even polyglot, just stick them in front of videos like on their time off, on your time off, and they'll pick up some stuff.
Newman is asking, did you guys learn some Vietnamese over there? So I got a lot of humble brag. I heard a lot of lap chai. I was called lap chai a lot.
Dep chai, yeah, nice.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, anh học ngồi tiếng Việt một chút. So a little bit in Vietnamese, they point, they measure with the pinky. So I learned a bit of Vietnamese. I'm a bit rusty now because I moved back to Canada in October, and with my wife, we both speak English.
Mm, yeah.
So I'm a bit rusty now, but I did learn a bit. I had three teachers. One of them was very good, but she stopped teaching during COVID and never went back. She like had to change jobs to survive.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's she's the only one that would actually make the lesson fun and interesting and made me want to do my homework and put some effort into it.
yeah. That's the kind of teacher that you want. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Maybe we should do like a couple more on both sides. I'll do
yeah,
two, and you do two.
sure.
I was putting the thing in the chat. Was I the last one to do an idiom?
Yeah, the one that you put in the chat, but you can do another one because it's the Icelandic Viking channel after all.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, this is a good one. I come completely from the mountains.
Does that mean you're like you don't know much about anything, or you're rough around the edges, or something?
Good, very good guess. So it means like when you're like, well, I have no idea, or like this is news to me. You know,
Okay.
I come completely from mountains, and that is ég kem alveg af fjöllum.
Okay, one by one.
Já. Ég
Ég
kem
kem
alveg
alveg.
al
Ah, is that the R, the back R? Wait.
al al
Al
al like Al Pacino. Al.
al.
That's Robert De Niro. No,
Right.
little bit, little bit.
I'm walking here.
Well, that's Dustin Hoffman. You're getting
Damn
your
it.
New
I'm
York
racist, but
actors.
for white people.
Yeah,
Old white
terribly,
actors.
terribly racist. One is like Italian Italian. One is like Irish Italian, and then one is Jewish. So
There you go.
Horrible. No, but so okay. Al Pacino. Al
Al
Veg.
Veg. Alveg.
Very good. Very good. Af
Off.
Fjöll
Wow. One more time.
Já. Fjöll
Yuck.
Yeah, so this is a really tricky one, and people complain about this all the time. The double L in Icelandic makes this sort of like TL sound. Fjöll, 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 fjöll.
Wow. I don't know how I can.
You kind of put
Wow,
your
that's a
tongue
new one.
like to the side here. Fjöll, fjöll, fjöll,
Yuck.
fjöll, fjöll.
Yuck. Yuck. And the last one. Yuck. Wow, that's a completely different. I've never heard that sound as a for language in my life. That's so interesting. Yuck.
Yeah, and this is something that total beginners really struggle with. It's this one, it's the rolled R, and then some of the special characters are tricky. But yeah, the double L, fjöllum, that's a tricky one.
Fjöllum. Interesting. So I come from the mountains. It's like you didn't get the news more. You're not up to date.
Well, not the present news, definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't get good Wi-Fi up there, so you're just like,
There you
what?
go. Yeah, no one's coming to visit you.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So it's a simpler life up in the mountains.
Mm.
Okay. Anything similar to that, or just something completely different?
Not really about news, or let me see, because I asked this 2 years ago on Facebook for people, my friends, to give me suggestions. I'm going through the list real quick, but I didn't get the news, or not really. I'm sure there are, but not that I know of.
Okay. Well, it could be something completely different.
Yeah. Oh, you want another? Okay, another idiom. Um. Ah, well, there's one for our lovely hats.
Oh, okay.
Attache ta tuque avec de la broche.
Attache à sucre avec la broche.
Well, that you have much better memory than I. Attache ta tuque avec de la broche. That means, well, broche is I don't know exactly because I'm not a farmer, but I think it's something to tie like sheep fence on the
Oh,
farm.
okay.
But the new word for broche is like a stapler or a staple. So it means tie your winter hat with with fencing fencing wire. There you go.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's when
Okay.
it's about to go crazy. It's let's tie your hair with fencing wire because it's about to go crazy.
Ooh, okay. Like the shit is about to hit the fan.
Yes.
You have
And
to
now we
think
shorten it.
about that for a little bit.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. And now we shorten it with just attache tatsuk.
Attache ta sucre.
Tatsuk. It's like a T, but there's a little S behind. Attache tatsuk.
Tatsuk. Tatsuk.
Yeah, tatsuk. I'm putting it in the chat.
In the chat there, attach
Right there.
attach the took.
Attach tatuk.
Attach the tuckus.
Nice.
Attach the tuckus. Attach to took.
Attache tatsuk.
Attach ta tush.
Suk.
Suk.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Maybe I don't. I'm not that my thing. I failed for English learning and teaching was the phonetics, but I guess suk like this.
Tsuk. Tsuk.
Perfect.
Tsuk.
Yeah. Perfect. So c'est tatsuk.
Well, this, I mean, when you said that, the image that popped into my mind, not to bring the mood down or anything, but I thought about like, the crucifixion, Jesus Christ, when they put the crown of thorns.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's where my mind went. Pretty dark,
Well,
but
it's funny
also
that you say that
pretty
because the
metal.
most
Pretty metal too, right?
very metal, very metal.
Metal.
But it's interesting that you say that because Quebec, we're renowned for our swear words, and in French, swear is also sacré, like sacred, and all of our bad words are church words. So when you say about Jesus, like all when we get angry, everything is borrowed from an artifact from church.
Mm, right.
And that's not really an idiom, but even the people, the most resistant French learners, like the people who live in Quebec but never wanted to learn French, they will start swearing in Québécois at one point because it's so fun and because you hear it all the time.
Yeah, I can remember you mentioned this to me when we were talking about doing this like 2 years ago, and it's funny because in Icelandic, the cursing that takes place, that is what it's called. We call it cursing of vulva, and it all has to do with like the devil and Satan and hell.
Damn.
It's not so much like in English when you have things to do with like bodily functions or
Yeah.
sex or that kind of thing. See how I'm
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
very very peachy at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that stuff is very interesting, and that's usually where people's minds go, where they want to learn a new language. It's like, how do you curse in this language? That's what I want to know.
I made a point to not learn that in Vietnamese because you remember the traffic there, and I think I would not be alive today if I learned to curse at people in Vietnamese.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have escalated.
Yeah, that's it. And you don't want that. No,
No.
never.
I remember, the one fender bender I got into, somebody like drove into me on his bike because they were swerving around in traffic, and they were so mad. They got off the bike. They were so mad because they couldn't find their cigarettes. They were like, where's my cigarettes? God. And I was just standing there like my bike is all messed up and I'm worried about like, did I break a hip or something? And this like 20-year-old is just like, my day is ruined. I can't find my cigarettes. They want flying off somewhere. Where are they?
And packs of cigs then was like 5,000 dong, so it's like 25 cents.
So serious money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
breaking the bank.
breaking the bank. Okay. Let's see. So we did. Which one did we just do?
I did the thing with the hat.
Yeah,
You did the one from the mountain.
the mountains. Okay. I think I'm gonna do maybe the final one on my side, and then maybe we'll wrap it up. And so this one, um, the raisin at the end of the hot dog. The raisin at the end of the hot dog, and this is like the cherry on top, but Icelandic version is a raisin in the hot dog.
That sounds like the day is ruined. It's positive or negative.
Yeah, it was a good hot dog, and then at the end there was like a raisin, and I had to just go home and take a nap. That was it.
It was too much.
Yeah, just I couldn't handle it
Comprehend.
psychologically. It was too much.
What does it sound in? How does it sound in Icelandic?
Uh, Rúsínan í pylsu endanum.
Ooh, one more time.
Hmm. Rúsínan í pylsu endanum.
Rusinam i Else entanum.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna put it in the chat and just see if you can, if that helps at all. Rúsínan í Pylsuendanum. Rúsínan.
Rúsínan.
Like naan bread.
Í
Pylsu.
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 Enda.
Num.
Very good. Very
Nice.
good.
Thank you, teacher. My weakness is memory. I'm good at emulating, but it's hard for me to remember, especially like a whole sentence as a complete beginner. For me,
Oh,
my
yeah.
level, right, would be true beginner of Icelandic.
Yeah,
But
you kind of feel like you're being dunked under the water, and you just kind of want to get up as quickly as possible when you hear like a whole sentence. And usually, you can get the first half maybe, and then by the end of it, it's like
there you go. There's a bit of panic for sure. But I like the sound of it. I had a question for you. I like the Icelandic sound. It's but
please, no questions. I can't take any questions. No.
sorry. Well, I talked with your manager, and I that was part of the deal.
Okay. Well, I think maybe one question. You know, I'll allow one question. Yeah.
Yes. You hear that, chat? We got one question.
Yes.
Now, my question was: do you have a calm voice as an individual? Like, do you sound a bit more different than the average Icelandic, or do most people speak with your kind of cadence? Because I speak a bit more slowly than most Québécois people, I think.
Yeah, this is a great question. I tend to be really measured in what I say. I take a long time to think, and there's a period of time from when I form a thing here, or I decide what I want to say, until it comes out here. And so that, I think, has served me well as a teacher. And yeah, so I definitely don't talk like a mile a minute at all, and I think a lot about what I'm saying. And then when I say it, I try to take as much time and effort to, enunciate well. I take pride in speaking well.
There you go. Nice. I was gonna say something else, but it's slipped my mind, so it's okay about that. But it's good. Nice. Thank you for indulging in my curiosity.
Well, it was a good question, so it all sort of it all worked out in the end. But I think I would say probably the same goes for you, right, Etienne? That like when you speak, you do it in sort of like you have a plan.
Yeah, well, I actually needed a speech therapist when I was a kid because I would wait so long to finish my sentences because I wanted to be sure about my words that I would never finish it.
Oh, okay.
And then
Wow.
my parents I'd go like, so are we gonna have? And my parents were like, oh, okay. So they took me to a speech therapist, and I hated it so much that I made
Oh.
sure to finish my sentences. I'd never have to go back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it worked.
Well, I was like, damn, my parents think I remember I was at the therapist's office, and I was
Yeah.
like, my parents think I'm stupid. So I have
Oh.
to like catch up. And
Right.
as a like 5-year-old, that's a very sobering thought to have. Sombering.
So
Yeah.
sobering thought. Yeah.
But I don't speak.
Yeah.
I'm a bit out of the loop with Quebec because lived almost a decade in Vietnam and living in English and a bit of Vietnamese. So I'm slower than most people in my own native language now. And my teacher habit was to enunciate, pronounce correctly. So I definitely spoke more slowly than regularly. And now my Quebec accent is crazy is back as soon as I moved back here, like everything I learned as a teacher trying to apply, it went out the window and like, yeesh, you were teaching? And I was like, I swear it's not that bad when I was there.
Well, that's funny. I think maybe that speaks to the strength of like we we start feeding off other people and copying other people and yeah.
Humans and adapting, like
Yep.
humans are the master of adapting, and that's yeah, definitely.
Mhm. Do you want to do maybe one final idiom?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Absolument.
For Quebec,
Yeah, let's hear one. Yeah.
or I learned one in Vietnamese. I don't know how to say it, but I can tell you the translation because I had one class with uh like high school kids and they were pretty naughty, so they taught me one. Uh, Again, I don't know how to pronounce it in Vietnamese. Sorry to all the Vietnamese watching out there,
Mhm.
but um, eating ice cream in front of the gate. That was the translation. Eating ice cream in front of the gate,
Mhm.
and this is when you have intercourse before you are married.
Oh.
So you eat your ice cream before you go past the gate.
Ah. Okay. Wow.
I
Wow.
thought it was very telling on the culture, and because it's super taboo there, uh, sexual relations before marriage.
Hmm.
Newman is that's the kind of topic Newman likes.
Oh. Okay.
Newman.
Newman. Newman.
Yeah, so that's one that I learned from there. I forgot how to pronounce it, but very interesting idiom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good one. Nice.
because we don't have that about cheating, but probably my grandparents had some stuff because church was very important for them back in the day. So
Hmm.
they probably have something because it's a scandal, right? Or like if you're so quick that you get a kid 6 months after you're married, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, this one is, it's not really the same thing, but we have a thing expression when like you get a boo boo or you get a cut or you get a, yeah, some kind of injury. We say, það grær áður en þú giftir þig. And that means it will heal up by the time you get married.
Aw, that's cute. And that means like far away because people are not getting married, or are you like making
Well,
fun of someone?
well, I mean, ideally, we talk about it with like kids when kids get hurt. You say like græða áður en þú giftir þig. So yeah, hopefully, when you're a kid, it's gonna be far, far, far in the future,
Ah, okay.
unless there's like a shotgun thing
that
happening.
that leaves a mark usually.
No, I mean no, no, I mean like a shotgun wedding,
Oh,
shotgun
okay.
shotgun wedding, not a shotgun wound. No, hopefully that doesn't
Yeah.
happen to the kid either. Yeah.
I was watching the Fallout TV show, so it's very, very violent. So that's where my mind is.
Oof. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think this was good. This was fun. This was a good idea. Only took us 2 years
There
to
you
make
go.
it happen, but good things take time sometimes. And yeah, I'm happy
Mieux
we
vaut
did it.
tard que jamais.
Nouveau tax sur monnaie.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Just better late than
No.
never, but in direct French.
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, this was good. This was good. Thank you, Etienne.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Can I plug my channel too in the chat?
Please.
Nice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go for it.
Thank you. So I did that for as friends and because I like the interactions and I'm quite fond of Oscar. I like his company. And now that he lives back in his country and I'm back in my country, we don't have company time like this in person, but it's fun to spend time like this. But I also have a YouTube channel. I don't do linguistics stuff, although I wanted to do some of that stuff when I started. but it devolved into video games mostly. So I'm called the Salt Goblin. You can see in the chat. I'm putting my channel in the chat. If you guys wanna, if you like video games, click it. There's also a bit of, I do a thing called Wikipedia rabbit holes. We could maybe try that one day on my stream, Óskar, if you want,
Yeah,
where
sure.
you like tell me a person, a famous person in your country or a city, and then we just click Wikipedia links until we find something completely ridiculous about history.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Like
that's
that.
fun too.
Cool. Thank you so much, Étienne, for being here. Love you, buddy.
Like this, right?
Oh yeah,
Love
this
you
one.
too.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
South Korean thing.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, something K-pop. There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Love
All
you,
right.
buddy.
Thanks a lot. Love you too. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Tack för det och bless
Salut.
bless.
À la prochaine chicane.
À la prochaine.
À la prochaine chicane.
À la prochaine chicane.
Parfait. C'est parfait.